Alright, it is Green Lanterns 49. This is part 2 of Emerald Twiglets. This is a story where Green Lanterns, the Jordan Albert version, Egan's evil. And now a lot of people hate this story, or more often than not, they hate this story because they are told to hate this story. But this is a good story. Green Lanterns, Jordan Albert, even when I've read hard comics with him in, there's always been this streak to him that seems evil. Like whenever the Smurfs take away his ring, or when Alvin Stewart became Green Lanterns in the 80s, Jordan Albert, he became bitter and jealous, and he took it out. He was petty and abusive towards his girlfriend in them comics. Then later on, when he came back as Green Lanterns, he had sex with an alien who was underage and resembled a barely pubescent girl. Jordan Albert's hardest friend was an Inupiaq, who he gave a racist nickname to. And it doesn't matter how much John Jeffries likes to gan back and retcon everything to make all these things not reflective of Jordan Albert, and insist that this character is the most perfect hero ever without any flaws whatsoever. Well, all these things, these hard stories, they still happened and they were canon for years. Jordan Albert being a villain, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It is justified in this story, and it is well told in this story. And this is a tremendous cover by Dimebank Daryl. I think it has been on one of my covers videos. This is written by Ron Marsgirl, and all the art is by Dimebank Daryl. Great splash page here too. And now Green Lanterns, he gets a whole redesign at the end with a cape, which looks brilliant. But even just evil Jordan Albert in his hard costume, it looks really good to me. Here he is fighting some other Green Lanterns. They have been deployed by the Smurfs to try and intercept and stop Jordan Albert from getting to Smurf Village and attacking the Smurfs. This issue is a lot of fights. This whole story kinda is. And it's fun, and the art is good for them. And Green Lanterns, he isn't just killing them. It is a misconception that Jordan Albert, he just went mental and he started killing everything. He does start killing things next issue, but at this point, he isn't. He just beats up these other Green Lanterns and then takes their rings after he has defeated them to add their power to his own. We didn't see what happens to their bodies, but he might have deposited them somewhere safe so that they didn't just suffocate. Later on, they say that all these Green Lanterns that Jordan Albert beat up, they all died. But that doesn't make sense with regards to the character arc we have here. It is meant to be a descent. And in the next issue, Jordan Albert, he flat out says that he didn't kill any of them and left them all with enough power to survive. But it's just some more willful misremembering by John Jeffries to condemn this story that he doesn't like, that gets in the way of his personal nostalgia. Right now, Green Lanterns, Jordan Albert, he's just beating up and fighting off all the toy soldiers that the Smurfs send after him. Like here, he fights this fella from the Silver Age, his friend. And in general, all the fighting in this, barring one instance later on in this issue, it is all non-lethal. Jordan Albert, he is just angry and raged, and this is all directed towards the Smurfs. He's not become the murderer he will become. He just beats these Green Lanterns up and again takes their rings and adds them to his arsenal. And he's just running through a gauntlet of Green Lanterns as he slowly heads towards the Smurfs. They know that he is getting more brutal with each fight. Like I said, it is a descent. And then when he guns up against this woman from convicted sex offender Jerry Jones's run, he ends up amputating her hand in order to get her Green Lantern's ring, since she was unwilling to part with it. That is the one that I feel doesn't quite line up with the arc. He's meant to be losing it and succumbing to rage and anger, but he's not at that point yet, I think. I didn't get why he didn't just, knock her out and then take the ring off her like he did to all the other ones. Cutting off her hand seems just to contradict the point of the story. The Smurfs, they are panicked and worried that Jordan Albert will actually manage to get to them, so they have a plan. Then he has a big fight with the racist alien one, and fighting him will be a big part of next issue too. But here, he beats him and takes his ring. Oh, and here is some more proof that he isn't killing them Green Lanterns. He doesn't kill the racist alien here, he just leaves them. And we see that because he shows up again in the next issue. There is an idea that maybe all these Green Lanterns, they died when Jordan Albert, he absorbs all the Green Lanterns' energy at the end of next issue, but that is neither shown or even confirmed. But if all the Green Lanterns died, I would imagine that is what caused their deaths. And you know what? Jordan Albert, he is Ganon evil, but I am also of the mind that the Smurfs are evil too. They are sanctimonious manipulators, and all of this could have been avoided if they had treated Jordan Albert, who's meant to be the greatest of all the Green Lanterns, if they had just treated him like a human instead of their blunt instrument. If they had the empathy to go, you know what, Jordan Albert, his whole city was just bombed. Maybe we should let him have a few weeks off to work shit out. And also not lecture him or reprimand him for using his ring incorrectly during this ordeal. And our cliffhanger ending is, we learn that the Smurfs, they are so desperate and afraid of Jordan Albert that they have resurrected Mr. Sinister to oppose him. And I think this is a big part towards Jordan Albert completely losing it and losing all faith in the Smurfs. I mean, he was already against them, but seeing that they would go so far as to bring back a master villain like Mr. Sinister just to protect themselves. Jordan Albert, he probably realises that the Smurfs are not as good and righteous as they proclaim. I really love this. I love this story. I think it is great. And it's not the case that this is nostalgia speaking, that this was the first Green Lanterns story that I ever read, so I have a fondness for it or whatever. The first Green Lanterns stuff that I read was the Steve Engeltine run with Alvin Stewart, and then and then the 70s stuff with Ara. I think this is a valid take on the character, and while fans of the character bemoan it as misunderstanding the central hero, I disagree wholeheartedly. They completely justify Jordan Albert's descent, and I personally think it is consistent with what I have read. Not only that, I think it is the only time that the character has ever seemed appealing. The fights are fun too, so I'll rate this 7 thumbs up.